Hello, I'm David Shea of Shea's Listics, and I'm here briefly to talk about the incoming energies of 2022. They're actually already coming in, and we've had several waves of this golden energy coming in. And so first I want to talk a little bit about what happened in October and November. We had this double hump, almost like a camel's hump of golden energy, and it was beautiful golden energy coming in. As always, it affects our soul group, that's us collectively, and how we're going to react as a society, as well as individually, how each of us anchors the energies that come in and affects our own life. Now, what's been coming in part of this month, and it's going to be intensifying coming into January of 2022, is this beautiful wave of golden energy. But unlike before, and I haven't ever seen this before, it's like thousands and thousands of silk-like threads of the golden energy. It's just beautiful to see. It's reflective, intense golden energy. Now, each one of these threads has its own individual purpose. So what I'm being shown is that for the collective soul group, as the energies go out into the soul group, because each thread has its own purpose, different groups within the soul group, that is, let's talk about the United States or even the world, each of us in a group is going to absorb different energies, and that's going to affect how they respond to it positively, or if they're not ready for the energy, people can bring in discordancy into their life if they try blocking the energies. So that's what's coming in. Now, individually, it's a beautiful thing as well, because since each of us has a very unique connection to the divine, which is our shorthand reference to the various aspects of God, God the Mother, God the Father, Yahweh, Buddha, from Islam, you name it, there's all kinds of names for what we call the divine or God and all these different aspects. And of course, because we're unique individuals, each of us is wired differently to that. Because of this, as these incoming energies flow in, all these thousands and thousands of threads, I can't even count them, they're just so fine, that we're going to absorb those energies that are right for us. And it's going to help us grow in ways that are individually going to benefit us and help us evolve into our future path. So as we do this individually, it's really important that we stay centered in our connection to the divine. You can do that through meditation, yoga, spiritual prayer, whatever method you use is absolutely fine, but just stay open to it and flow with it. Because as new things come into our lives, it's very common for people to say, boy, this seems different. Well, of course it's different. It's new. And as we evolve into new things, we're going to have new experiences. So it's really important to stay open to the experiences until we determine perhaps there's nothing to learn from them. But most often, I would say virtually always, there is. And so with that, as we anchor these energies, it raises the frequency not only of the planet, brings it higher and higher, and brings up the frequency of our soul group, because each of us is a member of the soul group. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So with the soul group, what happens is these energies individually, from thousands and millions and billions of us, all bring our energies into the collective soul group. It determines which route things are going to go, or from your perspective, coming this way. And what I'm being shown is that there's these different groupings of choices in different, you could say, areas of life for our, society that we can choose collectively. And then individually within each of those groups, there's sub-choices, and there's so many of them. I have learned not to try to predict what's going to happen. So with that, it's really important that as a soul group, depending if we are open as a society and flow with the higher light, it flows in a more positive direction, it's uplifting, and things flow more smoothly. And there's always some people blocking, and there's always a lot of people bringing in the energies, but depending on what the mix is, depends on how much of that is going to reflect in people blocking the energies. And when that happens, again, just as in our individual life, some discordancy comes in because we're blocking the incoming energies, and it has to go somewhere. But ultimately, the beauty of all of it is that the light always prevails. And so even when people block it, it gives them what I call a few bumps in the road, but ultimately we all get there. It's just, I'm always a believer to go with the spiritual program rather than trying to run my own program, which never seems to be quite as good as that of the divine. A little tongue-in-cheek humor there for me, but anyway, so that's what's coming in. And what's really important for each of us individually is to make the higher choice. Recognize that as these higher energies come in, and I know I've mentioned this before, but it's so true. It's like they keep showing me this image of the balloon going higher, and it's got these little bags of sand ballast. But the energy's bringing us higher, but the ballast wants to hold us down. And the ballast is our old beliefs, old patterns, emotional baggage, as we call it, which are basically energetic attachments left over from past lives, past in this life, and beyond. But it really doesn't matter, because whatever we have that we're holding on to in the present. So it's important that we let these sandbags, these proverbial sandbags, fall away from our lives. Let it flow. The light will dissolve it. It will sometimes transmute it. It will do what it needs to do so that we can flow to our higher path. And that's what I'm being shown is so important for everyone to do in 2022, especially those on what I call the committed spiritual path. That's the path that each person follows in their own individual life, of where the divine or their higher guidance has for them to go. And it's unique for each of us. No two people are exactly the same. That's why when someone says, oh, we should follow this path or that path, I really encourage each individual, I encourage you to go seek your connection, your higher guidance connection, whatever that is for you, and let yourself be guided by that. And then as this baggage falls away, and sometimes it gets processed through our energy field, and as that happens, although it's being released, we're feeling some of the negative energies, the sorrow, the heaviness, whatever it is. It can be anger, frustration. These are some of the energies of the baggage being released. Just know that. It has to do with who you used to be, not who you are now, and not certainly who you are becoming. You are evolving into that beautiful spiritual being that is a creation of the divine. So that's what I have to share with you, and that's what they have to share with you, coming from us for the new year. So make the higher choices, and as you do individually, it really does anchor it for the soul group, and it helps move all of society in a more positive direction. With that, blessings and light, Happy New Year, and until next time, have a wonderful day.